In this video, guys, I want to talk a little bit about trading your stop in a market that's going parabolic. Stay tuned. Hey guys, well, welcome to your right. So pretty apt topic at the moment. Markets are going parabolic. Well, specific stocks are going parabolic. Market not quite going parabolic yet, but some stocks are really going parabolic. And this is happening now, but we have this time and time again. You know, stocks that just literally rip and rip and rip. And if you're in the luxury or in the nice position that you have along, you go, okay, well, where the hell do I come out of this thing? You know, you're in it, you don't know where it's going to go, but you want to ride it and milk it for as much as possible. So you've always got to remember that, you know, it's never going to be perfect. You are always either going to leave some on the table, it's going to go higher, or you're going to give some gains back. And accepting that, especially for a parabolic move, timing it to perfection is nigh impossible. We're not talking about standard normal moves in markets where we can get quite good at getting, you know, high of days and low of days because we can feel when the pulses are going to change, like a little double tops, this kind of stuff. It's a different environment. It's a pure supply-demand imbalance. Bang, one direction, off we go. And so how do you know when to come out of the trade? You're in it, you're great, maybe you're going down here, talking parabolic like $10 to $100 type parabolic move. What do you do with it? So you can start playing the game of a moving average and yesterday's low. Now the trouble you have with the moving average and yesterday's low, don't you? That is that you are giving quite a lot back. When these are really moving stuff like this, you know, the moving average is a long way away. You know, you think about where that is, that's kind of half the move, you're giving back half of the game. Now maybe, because the game you've got to play of this is, okay, maybe there is a little pause like this, but then we go again. So you're kind of allowing for pauses and little consolidations, but at the same time, not giving too much back, because you know that parabolic moves eventually can kind of come back right back to where they were and maybe 3/4 of the way back. You don't want to give back that much. So moving average, fine. Yesterday's low, fine. They're not too bad. It depends on the situation. If you've got something like this, you probably don't want to give it all the way back to there. And so you can start playing 50% of yesterday's range. That's not bad. So you go, right, yesterday's range was here. I'm prepared to give back half of that because I think that if we do that, then, you know, fair enough. That might be the end of it. But also how many times, how much, what position that is. So you can play the moving average game at the beginning of a move. Like a 5-period moving average is quite tight. It will follow price quite well. Yesterday's low, you can play that. When you're coming to maybe the end of the move, and again, very difficult to judge whether this is $100 or $1,000, but at some point you go, right, I've had a good move here. I've got a good profit on this deal. It's working well for me. How do I manage this? Okay, I'll use half of the prior day's range and I'll use a stop loss there. Or I will go, okay, you know what? I'm now going to go X% pullback from highs and saying, you know what, I'm prepared to take a 25% pullback from highs, whatever that is, 25% of the move from the beginning of the move to the high of the move, you know, or maybe you're prepared to give back 50% because you believe that it's going to 1,000. So obviously you've got to play and adapt depending on what you think the price is going to do. The other thing is to look for technical support areas. So in your mind, especially, this is only available, obviously, option available to you if you're watching the trade intraday. When it starts to find a support level intraday and pushes off that, then you can put your stop under that support level intraday and go, okay, well, I'm assuming that that support level is going to hold intraday. If it does, great. If it doesn't, I'm out of the trade. The other thing is to scale the trade. So something you can do, which kind of, I guess it is my preferred method on something that's going parabolic. If I'm in a trade that's going really, really well, is just to scale out into new highs. So yes, it's not effective, and yes, you're not a completely efficient, should I say, because you're not going to be on ones that are really ripping. But the point is you're going to have something on, and you're going to kind of be able to take advantage and take some profit. At the end of the day, all you're looking to do, if you want to trade like this, is to take the most amount of profit you can out of the move. You're not trying to be a hero or any of these type of things. So when you get these pauses, you think, okay, well, I'm going to get a couple of days of move, maybe a stagnation, and then if I go again, I'll scale some off. If we go again, I'll scale some off and keep scaling some off into strength. And then you're in a position where, hey, I've taken off 2/3 of the position. I've got a third left. I can afford to let that third come back half for the potential for it to go up 5 times more because actually it's only a third of my position. So playing that game where you're using scaling to your advantage and putting some money in the bank, putting some money in the bank, putting some money in the bank and saying, okay, now I've got a trailer that doesn't really matter. Now I've got a trailer I can afford to give room because from the psychological perspective, you're giving it so much room, like 50% of the whole move, that feels like a lot. It feels like, oh, you know, we didn't do so well out of it, and the chimp's going to be angry at you and all this kind of stuff. So scaling is a good way to ease that burden and say, hey, and also it's a way of scaling into strength. It's like, okay, we're good strength here, let me take some off. Good strength here, let me take some off. And trying that game. 5 period moving average, 10 period moving average, 20 will be so far away that you'll be giving back a lot. Yesterday's low, not a bad thing to do when you see some strength, but again, with a portion of the size, not the whole size, because if it's the whole size, you know, it becomes quite tricky. Not an easy thing to do, guys, and don't forget, this is a rare scenario. So if you're not that good at doing this, and again, I'm not that good at doing this, very rarely do I get on parabolic moves. Very occasionally I'm lucky enough to get on one and like, okay, how am I going to manage this? I'm going to do this, and scaling tends to be the way that I go. So it's not something you need to kind of worry about so much, but I'm just saying it now because there's a lot of markets, a lot of stocks that are really going parabolic. It's a case of, okay, well, have a plan. The main thing is to have a plan. Any of these are valid, as long as you accept it and go, you know what, even if I'm going to use a moving average right back down here, as long as you accept it and say that's the plan, that's what I'm going to do, and stick to the plan, then whatever the outcome is, it is what it is. It's about accepting it and coming up with a plan rather than going, hey, you know what, it's going up to the moon, it's all that or nothing. It's okay, well, maybe it goes to the moon minus a tick, doesn't fill you, what are you going to do then? So having a plan of action, maybe levels to reassess, levels to scale, and then following through on that plan and then saying, you know what, great, I got the end of a parabolic move. Not very often this happens, but I'll thank you very much. I'll stick it in the bank and I'll carry on. Anyway, take care, see you next one, bye-bye.